Hello everyone, what is up and welcome back to another video. Today's video is gonna be a review of the iPhone SE first generation. Of course, I know that I didn't make any YouTube video about me buying the phone or anything, and that is because it wasn't really a huge purchase and it wasn't really that important to make a YouTube video out of. So I didn't really make that video, I just keep it true, and now we are straight into this review. So I don't really want to waste time talking about other stuff, so without further ado, let's get started into the video. So here's this phone. So this phone was released back in 2016 with iOS 11 and it's still supported to iOS 15. And this phone that I bought is actually the rose gold variant, and the internal memory of this phone is 64GB, as you can see here. This phone has an A9 chip built inside it and it has a headphone jack. The black circle here beside the microphone hole is actually the ambient light sensor, which is used for auto brightness. And the screen is a 4-inch Retina LCD display with 326 pixels per inch. Just a very small screen, but this is definitely a really capable screen. To see that, we're going to play some HDR videos. Here you can see that there's a HDR video playing on this phone, but the HDR video is capped to 1080p. Even though this is a 4K 60fps video, this is capped to 1080p, and that is because of the limitation on the screen. And even though this phone is really handy for watching videos, the screen size is just too small to watch them, and sometimes it gets uncomfortable when we watch it because of the screen size being too small. And this phone has a maximum brightness of up to 500 nits. I know that it's very bright, but this has a brightness of up to 500 nits. Now you can see here it's up to 500 nits. This phone also has a fingerprint sensor here. As you can see, the home button has Touch ID, and we can add our Touch ID here. Please unlock this phone and Apple Pay and everything else. I think most of you would have known, so we're just gonna skip through this step really quickly. Now onto the camera of these phones. So the front facing camera is a 1.2 megapixel camera with 720p video recording. But I know that this isn't really a huge camera. It is really good for a budget phone like the iPhone SE. And now going to the back, this is the rear camera. The rear camera is a flashed in design. It's a 12 megapixel camera. This camera can also record 4K in 30 frames per second. Now it's time to test the speakers. So I've got an NCS ready to play here. Let's just increase this to full volume first. Okay, there it is, and now let's play. So those speakers were really a lot for this phone, but of course that is because this is in a closed room and not really in open environment. So in open environment, this volume will definitely go down. Now I think I've been shooting for about half an hour, and the battery is pretty solid. It's at 97%, so that's a pretty solid one. Now let's take a look at the battery health of this phone. The battery health of this phone is 84%, so I have to change the battery after quite some time. Now with that done, let's run wildlife benchmark. So I'm just gonna click unlimited mode and we're gonna just click start on wildlife. That is a very saddening news because 3D Mark wildlife benchmark didn't play at all. So it was trying to play. The processors on this phone were, I guess, probably not enough for the game, and the benchmark just crashed. Since the benchmark crashed, I'm not willing to open Call of Duty. I was actually planning to play Call of Duty, but since the benchmark crashed, we're not gonna go for that, but we're gonna go for Temple Run, and we're gonna see how it holds up, because usually on newer phones it doesn't really work that much. So we're just gonna reduce the volume down and we're just gonna see how Temple Run holds up. Okay, so I guess there was a bit of stuttering at the start. Usually I play these games on older phones just to check their benchmarks, because usually on newer phones this game doesn't really play well. The frame rate and everything drops because this is a old game and nobody really plays them now. So Temple Run didn't really have any stutterings or anything, so that's really good. In this game there isn't any lags or stutterings. S21 had a few stutterings. You would have seen if you've watched my video. If you haven't, please do go watch it. But even my S21 has stutterings, but this game on the iPhone SE didn't have any stutterings at all. That's really something to be impressed about. Okay, so now we are done with all the testings. Well, technically we are not done with all the testings, and that's because some of the testings didn't work. Like I want to run the wildlife benchmark, which didn't turn out well because the wildlife benchmark just crashed down straight. It didn't even open. It was just loading and it just crashed. So wildlife benchmark was not good, and because wildlife benchmark wasn't good, I decided not to go for Call of Duty. because I just want to stop it there. I didn't want to stress the phone too much, because if Wildlife Benchmark doesn't, then I thought I shouldn't just go for Call of Duty. Well, I know Call of Duty is a bit less intense, but still those are graphics games and I don't really want to go for it. So that was a disappointment, but other than that, I guess the review was okay. I just hope all of you like this review, because some of the parts were missing, like it isn't really like my normal review. And yep, so now onto the question, should you buy this phone in 2022? Well, my answer to that is buy this if you're using this as a spare phone or a temporary phone till you get a good phone, or till you just use it for a time being till you upgrade your phone. In that kind of situations, this phone is definitely a go-to. You don't have to think twice. But if you're someone who's thinking of using this phone as your main phone, as your main device, as your main overall device, then you should only use this phone for basic needs such as calls, WhatsApp, Instagram, and just very light gaming like Temple Run and Subway Surfers. Not more than that, or just a slight photos. So those are the people who should get the SE first gen. But if you're someone who goes for graphic intensive games, or if you're someone who uses this on a regular basis, like you push yourself a lot on these phones, then I guess this phone isn't the one for you. You should probably go for the iPhone. If you're probably going for a high one, I think if you're someone who plays a lot of games and all, I think you should go for the iPhone X onwards and nothing below that. So yep, that's been it. That's been my review for the iPhone SE first generation in 2022. I just hope most of you like it, because I was just missing a few parts and the testings weren't really that good. So I'm apologizing again for that. And if you like this video, do remember to click the like button, do remember to comment below your comments, and do remember to click the subscribe button for this channel. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch all of you in the next one. Bye bye.